baie goed gevaar het vroeër in daardie nou ja, wêreldsterkman kampioenskappe kompetisie. Kom ons gee vir die
in with a fingertip to spare.
Strongman competition. This is a sport.
Gary Taylor was next up. He'd agree it's the longest 30 meters in the world. Magnus Magnuson is the reigning world strongman. He won the crown in the Canary Islands last year, and his experience showed. Gerrit Badenhorst had deadlifted more than 400 kilograms. He needed every bit of those power reserves in this event. And a whiff of oxygen to boot. Jamie Reeves, a full-time professional, had the technique taped, but found the altitude a handful. But a truck is naught compared to a locomotive. And Price, our train-pulling champion, sped past Reeves to clinch this number by 0.8 of a second. Gerrit Badenhorst was a close third. Tested the reserves of double springbok Mark Robinson. Judo and wrestling provide scant preparation for lugging two massive 86-kilogram dead weights. Magnus Magnuson shaped a trifle better, finishing 4th overall. He was delighted when his mentor, John Paul Sigmarsson, managed a 3rd for Iceland. There was plenty of crowd support for Manfred Herbel, the clown prince of the meet. The man whose garb bears more than a passing resemblance to cartoon character Obelix didn't need any of the Druid's potion to finish in the penultimate spot, but he could use a predecessor. The heaviest man in the competition at 170 kilograms, Jamie Reeves, fittingly carried the suitcases the furthest. An incredible 81 meters for full points. The third event of the day would separate the men from the boys. Gerrit Badenhorst made the carry and drag look relatively effortless. But the big man from England, Jamie Reeves, looks like he's done this before. Whoops. Even the Welshman Gary Taylor struggles to drag the massive 200-kilogram tractor tyre the required 30 metres over the unyielding turf. But in fairness, the Transvaal's rarefied atmosphere did nothing to help him. And another one bites the dust. But then, nobody really coped with this savage test. sure he wishes he was pulling this over ice. So after day one, it's Jamie Reeves out in front with the pack baying at his heels.
Go, Wade! Come on, Wade! You can do it! Go, Wade! Wade's doing very well! Looks like it's going to be the boss here! Go, Wade!
A splash of colour on day two, and those flagpoles would be the lightest items these powerhouses would get to grips with in the 8 hours. Concentration and discipline are prerequisites for success in the keg hold competition. That's Magnus Magnusson, clinching 3rd spot. Gary Taylor bettered that at some price to his blood pressure.
Unofficially 40 seconds, or 30 kilograms dangling.
And controversy when Gerrit Badenhorst was ruled out for bending his elbows.
And another warning. Wow, Jamie Reeves, contest leader in this stage.
But again, the British juggernaut Jamie Reeves proved too good for the opposition. 42 seconds of intense discomfort won him the event.
What a strong man!
This 130-kilogram log was only good enough for warm-ups as the big guns worked up ahead of steam.
See? Big shoulders. What a great contestant! Yeah! Steady, go for it!
But that weight proved too good for John Paul Sigmarsson.
Now he says that's it for him. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Mark Robinson was next out.
Go on, Mark. Up, Mark Robinson. Get it up there. Do it, big push. 341 pounds.
And 155 kilograms got the better of Wayne Price.
He's balanced there. Let's get underneath it. Come on, Wayne. Come on now, people. Come on, this is South Africa. No, he says that's a big round of applause for John.
That left Magnus ver Magnusson in with a fighting chance. John Paul was right behind him. There's nothing like a rousing Viking exhortation to get an Icelander moving. And the Austrian Manfred Herbel. He showed the Vikings he wasn't afraid of a dance or two. But South Africa's pride and joy, Gerrit Badenhorst, matched the visitors kilogram for kilogram. But the stakes got higher. Badenhorst cracked at the 170-kilogram barrier. By now, the Austrian fans were baying for blood, as Herbel broke Reeves' world record of 172.5 kilos, but disappointed at the 180-kilo mark. So the pressure was still on Reeves. He'd never been past this weight before.
Ladies and German, the world record. Yes, settle it once for all. Come on now. Come on, Jamie, get that up there. Come on,
A new world record as the Englishman clinched yet another first place. By now, he looked to have things well in hand. And hands played a vital role in the next test of strength. Lifting the two back wheels of a well-known Japanese-made saloon car off the ground. Gary Taylor's 58 seconds earned him fourth place. Manfred Herbel held out for 1 minute 4 seconds for third spot. Second was Johan Kutsia with 1 second more on the stopwatch. And reason for South African celebration. A win for Gerard Badenhorst with 1 minute 13 seconds. Jamie Reeves was still in control, but the final day would decide just who would walk off with the £4,000 sterling. That's 20,000 Rand first prize, which also included an all-expenses-paid holiday for two. And so, on to the third and final day. The Stones of Strength is a cunning trial. Contestants have to place 5 iron balls ranging in weight from 90 to 140 kilograms atop a petrol drum. A seemingly simple task. But the faster the start, the slower the finish, as John Paul Sigmarsson found to his cost. The man Austrians call the Bomber has a better self-image than many a graduate of the Dale Carnegie course. Well, that's 2 in the bag. Oops. And now for the final one. No problem for Herbel, 5th place. Gerard Badenhorst, a touch more stoic than Herbel, betters it by 1 place. Reeves' bulk counted against him in the speed stakes. And it's 3rd place overall. The physical instructor from Wandsworth Prison, Gary Taylor, never gave up. The final stone and 2nd place for the man from Wales. Current world champion Magnus Magnuson finally got his act together and showed his class. 1st place, but the Icelander was effectively out of the race for overall honours. For the men lower down the rankings, just getting that final ball in place would have been reward enough. No easy task, as members of the public were to discover. Skill and technique were more important than brute strength in the weight toss event. That weight weighs 25 kilograms. And John Paul Sigmarsson, despite nursing an arm injury, did the necessary easily enough. The bar was lifted periodically, and eventually Johan Coetzee crashed out. The South Africans seemed to have a lot more trouble with this discipline. Disappointment for Wayne Price. Gerrit Badenhorst thought a moment's reflection would help his cause. But it was not to be. And no luck for Mark Robinson. There was no stopping Reeves as the Austrian challenge fizzled out. It was now a straight dice between Reeves and Welshman Taylor. But Reeves took the event with a mighty throw of 5.10 meters, which made sure of the overall honors of the 1992 Hino World Mighty Man contest. But there was still one trial to come, the barrel loading competition. Manfred Herbel tried manfully enough, but the 10 barrels, each weighing 75 kilograms, eventually got the better of him. Pacing oneself is all important in this event. The couple of barrels are easy enough to heave onto the flatbed truck, but a rapid start means a slow finish. Wayne Price did enough to notch 5th place. John Paul kept the Icelandic flag flying. He didn't do too well in the overall standing. But when it came to sheer showmanship, no one else could hold a candle to the man with the broadsword routine. Gerrit Badenhorst finished with a 3rd spot. But barrel hefting is a far cry from his usual pastime of powerlifting, as at least one doesn't have to carry one's own weights around. Front end of the field, Gary Taylor finished, Welsh lion that he is, with a roar. 2nd place and 2nd place overall. Magnus Magnusson, the world title holder, finished on a high note. 1st place, but sadly his bank balance would not get the injection he'd hoped for. There we have the final standings after 3 sweat-drenched days under the African sun. The men from the north came and conquered. The South African challenge fizzled, despite the home ground advantage. Experience played a key role, but there will be other competitions and a chance for Gerrit Badenhorst and company to square matters. Well done, Jamie Reeves. But who will forget that magnificent Icelander, John Paul Sigmarsson, the Viking with the body of a Greek god.
Asapkuba malungsele.